Blades Ramble are proudly supported by our main channel sponsor, My Business Group, a group of brands designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. We would not be where we are without the incredible support of John and the team. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information or follow the link in the description below.
Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and I think we have got all our issues sorted. I were able to work out what the gremlins in the system were. So fingers crossed, this has come across pretty seamless, whereas you only saw the countdown this time. I am straight into it. I'm pretty sure you can hear me. We're getting there, aren't we? Slowly but surely. So thank you to everybody for joining me earlier, because it was a bit of an impromptu. It certainly wasn't impromptu on Sheffield United's side, obviously, but we only found out very close to the presser when it was happening. So I found out, thanks to Jamie Dumpling, at 1:20 that the press conference were about to happen, and it was due for 1:30. So I were able to rush into the studio, get it. I were in the middle of a game Monopoly with my girls. I were winning, so it were okay. I didn't mind leaving at that point, because then you call it, don't you? You call it after the final turn, and whoever's winning at that point wins. So I were good with that. Came into the studio just in time for Ruben to sit down. I was setting up everything in background to do it hot off the presser. Just got all that done as he came on, and I thought it was a really strong press conference from Ruben Sayers. And yeah, impressive to say it's his first presser ahead of a competitive game. I'd heard previously, and I said this on the stream, but if you haven't had a chance to catch it yet, but I'd heard previously that it can be quite guarded. And I think we've seen that a little bit in pre-season when he's been asked certain questions about targets and things like that. But today, I thought it was really forthcoming, and it was really refreshing to hear. He didn't bat off any questions about potential targets. He spoke about Ollie McBurney. He spoke about Charlie Hughes and Ben Godfrey and Nils Zetterstrom and the Korean right-back that we're potentially looking at. So really good press conference, and the fact that pre-match pressers are back adds to the excitement about this weekend and football coming back. And have we missed it? Because it's been some slog over the summer without it, particularly with a little bit of uncertainty, and we don't really know how we feel about the new way of doing transfers and the new way of doing certain bits of our business as a club. It's taken some getting used to. A lot of us still aren't quite there yet. And I'm interested to hear how the channel MVP is dealing with all the changes at the lane. It was obviously quite the shock when Chris Wilder went, and very quickly Ruben Sayers was installed. But how now the dust is starting to settle, and we've seen a little bit of pre-season. Obviously, the first competitive fixture is around the corner. It's the return to the channel of the channel MVP, my dad, Andy the Blade.
Sharp as steel, Andy the Blade got the knowledge appeal in the world of blades. He's the king we trust. Jimmy's dad on the mic, kicking up the dust. ATP, he's the channel MVP. Sharp wit, sharp mind, that's the key. Blades Ramble, bringing truth to the game. Andy the Blade, remember the name.
I can't hear it then.
Welcome back, Father. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Jim. I'm very well. Yes,
Dad, this honestly, right? I was telling you earlier when you first set up your stream. It's such a. I don't know if everybody else gets it this clear, but it's a really crisp image for you, and it's first time I've seen you as clear on screen.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm clearer than you, to be honest. You're not that clear.
You know.
Anyway, I want to tell a little tale. I want to just tell a little tale before we get on to football.
Oh, what now? Why you always have a go at me for bamboozling you and sort of sideswiping you with stuff?
No, you've just brought it up. I'm going to tell all your listeners about Monopoly. I called around this afternoon to see my girls because they've been on holiday. So my granddaughters, and they had Monopoly board set up while our Jim were doing something in studio.
Yep.
And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, what's going on here? Our Jim had got Mayfair Park Lane, alt greens, alt reds, alt yellows. Our poor old Emily had got nothing. She were bankrupt. Sophie had about 2 little houses. And I says, what's going on here? He says, you've got to teach them young. You've got to teach them young. Dad.
Excuse me. Like, I'll let you have that. But why am I like that?
I don't know, because I always used to let you win.
Yeah. All right. We'll leave that narrative as you want it to be. That's absolutely fine. We used to come. If anybody watches the Fast Show or watched the Fast Show back in the day, there was a skit that was Competitive Dad. I can't remember the name of the actor that used to do it, but me and Dave used to laugh at that show because that was you, where he's playing squash with his kids and he's smacking it and they've no chance and it's hitting them and they're crying and all sorts of stuff. That was you. So yeah, if I can beat my girls at Monopoly, that's fine. Yeah. So anyway, we do digress. We do digress. But Dad, it's brilliant to have you back on. It's brilliant to be back as a channel.
Yeah, no, we were all a bit worried, Jim. We were all a bit worried, mate.
Oh, my word, Dad. Oh, my word. Thank you for being on the end of the phone when I needed you, as always, because obviously I were in a different country at the time and very scary. Very scary.
I want to say thank. I did put a little message on, but I would like to say thank you to all your ramblers and what have you, because obviously, you know, you're my family, so I will support you anyway. But they were all great. They were
unbelievable.
Really good, all supportive. They were
absolutely
terrific to see. Really,
it's. I often sort of get I have like a warm feeling seeing everybody help each other out and stuff like that, and then it turns out when I needed it, everybody would rally round and were there for me.
It was a bit humbling, really.
It was, yeah.
To see it, it was really good.
Yeah. Anyway, right. Enough of the mushy stuff. Thank you to everybody. We all really appreciate you. Now let's get some takes from Andy the Blade on what you think. So it's last time we spoke. I think it was probably before the pre-season games had kicked off, or it were in and around that time.
Yeah,
and we had a couple of really impressive results early doors. Obviously, the opposition hasn't been amazing early doors, but it was more about getting minutes in the legs and getting comfortable in possession of the ball and patterns of play and things like that. So it's smart to play against opposition where you are going to have more of the ball. I understand the thought process. Sayers has then organised a couple of friendlies against higher level opposition, being Nice and Fulham. And we've done very well in those games. I obviously saw part of the Nice game, but it were all kicking off when that happened. The Fulham game were behind closed doors, but they seemed to have a fairly strong team out. You never quite know. They're obviously a week behind us in preparation and stuff. All that being said, pre-season's gone about as well as it could have done in terms of on the field, I think. No major injuries, no major concerns. The fan base, and I say this in general because I never like to speak holistically for everybody, but there is a little bit of concern that we're a little bit short going into the opening weekend this weekend. We have tried to counter that by saying there's a long way to go to end at window, 3.5 weeks left. You're never going to be at full strength as a squad going into the first game of the season. I'm still of the belief that our starting 11 will look different from what we see on Saturday. I think there'll be 3 or 4 new faces in and around the first team by the end of the beginning of September. Where are you on where we are as a club at the minute? Just let me know how you're feeling about stuff as we go into the first game of the season, Dad.
Yeah, I'm a little bit underwhelmed. I've got to say. I think we are light. We've got a good team. We've got a good team for this division. I like the players we've got. I like the players we've brought in. I like Barry and people like that we've brought in, and obviously I don't know the lad we've got from Portugal very much, but he sounds a good player. But we're very light down the right hand side. I mean, we look as though we're going to be starting maybe with Brooks and Sariki as right winger and right back. And I would like somebody strong. That's the weakness besides centre half. That's the weakness really that I see. And I would like to see both those two as sort of like second places, if you know what I mean. The ones that are backups.
Yes, the ones that are pushing the starters.
Rather than starters. So that's where I think we're a little bit short. we have got a good team, and as long as we've no more injuries, obviously we can probably get through till we get some more people in. But we need to get some bodies in, I think.
I think so too. So we've obviously we lost Vinny.
Yeah.
Probably since we spoke, I think we lost Vinny, which were expected to a large degree. I know we talked about it a little bit. I know we talked. When I say we, I mean we talked about it on the channel, or me and the 3MB boys and things like that. I always thought, and I'd spoken to you, and you felt similar off camera, that Vinny might leave and Anel might leave. Those were the two that we were resigned to losing, really. But as long as Gus stayed and Cooper stayed, then we can sort of get our heads around it. As long as we get suitable replacements in, and now we're in that middle ground where Vinny's gone. We've got Samari in, who may well plug a bit of a gap. You don't expect him to be quite the Vinny Souza coming in on the deal that he has done, but it's a like for like in some regards, apparently. We don't know a lot about him. The Anel one seems to have been the kicker, and I think it's more the timing. What are your thoughts on the deal for Anel as opposed to the timing of the deal? Because obviously the timing's poor for us as a team going into the first weekend, but we can't turn down a deal like that, can we, surely?
It doesn't surprise me him going at all. In fact, didn't we thought he'd go last year, to be honest.
Yeah.
So we got an extra year out of him. But once he'd said that, it came out in the presser, I think, didn't he, that he'd said that he wasn't going to stay another year. Once we got a decent offer, we were going to have to take it. I just wish, but obviously sellers must have known this. So why haven't we got somebody lined up to come in straight away? I mean, there's one or two things that I'm a little bit down about. I mean, because there's been a few players that we could have had lined up. Like at right back, we had Dunn lined up seemingly ages ago. So why didn't we push that? I know that were a Wilder thing, but why didn't we push that a little bit harder? You know, and then that'd be our right back covered.
Our right backside
covered. The centre half. If we've known that Anel, which we've all really known that Anel was likely to go, why have we got somebody more or less set up and lined up to go out? And even if Anel didn't go, we wanted an improvement on the left hand side. So
I am delighted you brought this up, because I know sometimes we clash on our opinions, but a lot of the time we do agree. And I was on an island on my own with the two Mardy Blades the other day, talking about Jimmy Dunn, because they were both saying, and I don't mean to put words in their mouth, but I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but look, Jimmy Dunn hasn't gone anywhere. He's stayed at QPR. No big Premier League teams are coming in for him. He's not a Premier League ready player. Well, my argument was you don't need to, not every signing needs to be a Premier League player.
No.
You look at players like Joe Worrell, who are probably very good in the Championship and probably not good enough for the Premier League. So, but those are the players. Right. Those are the players that you need to get out.
Championship player is done.
Solid
Championship
absolutely
player.
And those are the type of players that you need to be up at the top end of the Championship. So
you can't have Amers in every position or Coopers in every position.
No, you can't.
You're clever star men. Some of you just need is just people in the trenches who do the jobs.
And it can't always be, and this was my opinion, and people may disagree again, but I don't think you could have a defence full of 20-year-olds either, because I think you need somebody to be, and it's not about age particularly. It's more about being wily and being experienced. And when Harry Souttar was here, Alfie Gilchrist played an awful lot better than when Harry Souttar wasn't in the side alongside him. So did Anel. And you can only assume, because we'd seen it at games as well, he's talking to them all the time. Yeah. He's telling them when to go. You sit there, you come tight, you do whatever you need to do. I just think we need a little bit of experience and a bit of know-how in that back line. Tyler Binden's young. I think he's a very good player for the level, but I think he does need somebody alongside. And I know Jack Robinson's experienced, but we're talking about levelling up. And I think somebody like Ben Godfrey that we've been linked with. And now I know you've got slightly different opinions on this, which is where we may differ a little bit. But Charlie Hughes or Ben Godfrey, there's a difference. I think we'd probably both lean towards Charlie Hughes. But Charlie Hughes is going to be a huge permanent investment. We want permanent, we know that. But whether the club wants to spend that sort of money, 8 to 10 million plus rumoured at minute, it's yet to be seen. Ben Godfrey is probably a more likely option with an obligation to buy on promotion. What are your thoughts on the links to those players, Dad?
I love it when you give me questions. You'd ask me about 15 questions.
I don't know. It's just a long way round of one question. What are your thoughts on Ben Godfrey and Charlie Hughes?
Well, as the centre-back position, just to go back a little step, you're totally right. Robinson is probably our oldest player that we've got. Maybe Hamers might be a bit older. By the way, we've got a really young team. I was just looking at age of art. I think we've got the youngest in the division, you know, on average ages. But Robinson is probably one of the oldest. But he's nowhere near. I know he's our captain, but he's nowhere near an organiser or anything like that at the back who you want him to be. And I think Tyler might be okay at that, but he is very young and he needs a bit more experience. So I would love a more experienced captain type of person, like a Joe Worrell or somebody like that in the defence.
Rob Holding. Yeah,
somebody who can just organise things. But regarding centre-backs, I've had a little look at the centre-backs that you've just been talking about. Charlie Hughes is probably the one with the highest ceiling, I would say, because I think he's a really...
You like him, don't you?
A really quality player, but you've got to get him at the right price. You know, they started talking about 20 million for him, and you're thinking, oh, ridiculous. Now they've come down to 8 to 10, and you're more or less in the ballpark. If we could get him for somewhere... 7, 8-ish, maybe. I think I'd maybe take a risk on him.
Absolutely.
But then he's still a young lad, so it doesn't really answer what we've been saying. So, we haven't got the old head. The other one, the Everton boy, it's not Everton anymore, is it? Atalanta or Ipswich, Godfrey. I'm not as sold on him, I never have been.
I know you're not.
He came through at Norwich. And I think he went for a big money to Everton and never really did an awful lot at Everton. And he's gone. I've just been looking at a few stats just before we came on, and he's an Atalanta player now, isn't he? But he's been on loan to Ipswich. Well, he's played one game. It says on Wikipedia for Atalanta, so they obviously didn't fancy him. So they played one game, and Ipswich, he's played 3 games. He's been on the bench for Ipswich. So obviously they didn't fancy him, and Ipswich are, they don't want him. So
no.
I haven't seen a lot of him, so I can't say. But I haven't seen enough of him to say that we should want him. But on the last little bit, I have a little look at Matty. What they call him? What do they call him?
No, to do with Matty.
I called him Matty today, didn't I? What's his name?
Where does Matty come? Nils Zetterstrom.
Yeah, what's his name again?
Nils Zetterstrom. Yeah, it
Nils
sounds like
Zetterstrom.
Matty, but not quite.
Well, Nils Zetterstrom. I had a little look at him. Looks really good.
Have you watched YouTube?
Looks really good. I've seen YouTube and I've seen.
Oh, why?
Because you've got to. I know you've got to take out the best bits, and I know they only show you the best bits. But I also saw Ben Godfrey's on YouTube, and that didn't look very good to me.
If you'd have done your scouting from YouTube, you'd have been sacked.
Well, that's why you have scouts, isn't it? That's why you don't watch them on YouTube. But I'll tell you what I did see from Matty.
That's sticking. I'm keeping that on this channel anyway. So yeah, go on, Matty.
He's 6'4", by the way. He's
a unit.
He's really quick. He looked a bit Anellish, really.
Slight, isn't he? He's quite slight.
But he was strong. He was getting up, we're getting back. And I really like the look of him. So, and I haven't seen him before. So you can't, as you know, Jim, you can't scout on YouTube because everybody puts the best stuff on there. But he looked a quality player. So
we are in for him from what I'm hearing. We are in for him. And we see him as a high ceiling player, not quite raw. Yeah. And I'd be surprised if we didn't get him. So I think he may come, but I don't expect him to be in and around
because that is also
something
that somebody were mentioning in the Ramblers chat. What we're going to do at one time last year, we had Suter, Souza, Anel, Moore,
Skyblade. Your pal Skyblade. Wayne is saying.
Well,
I've asked this.
We've got loads of people who can nod it away or nod it in.
Where's our commanding height at the back, and more importantly, who's going to head in?
Yeah,
head it in. Head in a Barry or Brooks cross up front.
Yeah.
If no one, then we'll become a one-trick pony again with no plan B. Any signing, in my opinion, should have this involved before a purchase. Campbell, Cannon are not known for their heading ability, and certainly not O'Hare, Peck, and Hamer running in from midfield, which leaves One as our only threat and third choice unproven option.
Correct, Skyblade. Correct. So this is what I'm saying. So we need some height from somewhere. I mean, I know I always go back to my old tales, but when I were at Everton at one time, we had no height whatsoever, and we had to buy a midfield. We were going to buy a midfield player, and we're told, under no circumstances can we look at a midfield player who were under 6'2". So we couldn't look at anybody else because we needed some height in from somewhere.
That where Fellaini came from?
Yeah, we finished up getting Fellaini. Yeah,
decent player, Fellaini, for Everton.
Yeah, he was. But we had to get that was part of the thing that we had to.
But
get
also, that's not just for heading ability; that's for presence as well. But just because they're a tall kid, don't mean they're a great aerial presence, does it?
No, McBurney.
What?
I said no, McBurney. No,
go on then. Well, Tim Cahill were going to be my example because he were unbelievable in the air.
But you still can't use him. I mean, he were great at leaping and getting to things, but you still won't put him in a corner.
No, you won't. And
the main targets.
I'm playing devils a little bit because you do need some aerial presence. You need some height in the team. I agree with Skyblade completely. You mentioned your boy McBurney then. Any thoughts on? You've just watched the presser, haven't you?
I've just watched his presser at Hull. I'm not going to comment on that too much.
What did you say? That he's no other place he'd rather be, or something like that?
I'm not going to say whatever he's going to say. He can say what he wants. But I might surprise you here, and I would have had him back. I
said that, but I'm surprised that you're saying it.
No, on the condition that which he's refused. Yeah.
But it was a fair offer from us, weren't it? That's what we would have done with him.
For a third choice striker as a backup to Cannon and Campbell on the appropriate wages. He knows the club. We know what he can do and what he can't do. I'm never going to be a big fan of McBurney's, but
We've been there, done it.
Yeah, and we know what he can do and what he can't do. So I would have taken him in at the right price because. As much as I would, just while we're touching on that, as much as I would love to get another striker in, somebody like everybody who's wanting Kone, which I think is marvellous value, by the way. So
yeah, I do.
If they've brought him down, if they've brought his price down to 3 or 4 million,
no brainer.
He could be another Tony, could this Kone kid. But whether we get him, because would he come as third choice?
And that's what he'd be, Dad. That's what he'd be, innit? Yeah, so that's what we're offering.
I can't see it happening. I cannot see it happening. So you need to get somebody in on low wages to come in if you're getting a third striker, and because we've also got One, who obviously who's done enough. You don't want to block.
You don't want to block either.
Who's really done enough to? Although he's like cover for Barry as well a little bit because he's been playing that left side, hasn't he? And coming
so, like before pre-season, I think we would probably both have been in the same. I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we would have both probably said, get him out on loan, get him 35, 40 games in maybe League One.
Absolutely.
And watch him flourish and develop. But he has done so well in pre-season, he has earned a place in the first team, for first half of the season at least.
Yeah, so. I mean, I don't see a way around the quandary that is Coney with us having Campbell and Cannon there.
We're not going to go for a top-level striker, are we, Dad? We can't. That's the business of it.
But the problem is, he is a top-level striker, but not on a top-level fee.
I know.
So it just sounds too good to miss, for my opinion, for that money. But anyway.
But then you're going to sit him on bench, and he's going to get 20 minutes most games, and you think, well, why have we done that to a really hot prospect of a player? And the other way of looking at it is, you bring him in as first choice, you're knocking Tom Cannon, who's your £10 million man, down to third choice.
I know. This is why.
And Ty Campbell, who were our best striker last year, into second, and it's unfair.
This is why it's not conceivable. I wish I could. We've got some quandaries like that. There's another quandary that I've got further down the line. But anyway, but that's one of them that you just can't see a way around it with the players that we've got.
Is that Siddy Peck?
No, it's not Siddy Peck, no.
Okay, I'll come to that in a minute then. But just while we're still on Hull, I saw something mentioned online about Hull now have John Egan, John Lundstrom.
Gone.
John Lundstrom.
Love John Egan.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, by the way. But they've got John Egan, they've got John Lundstrom.
John Lundstrom will be one of the few players who are ex-players of ours that I will boo when he comes up.
They've got Ollie McBurney.
I won't boo McBurney.
No. McBurney. But they've got Regan Slater, who came through the Sheffield Academy.
Why we ever got rid of him, I've no idea.
Because he's not good enough to play at top end at Championship. I think that's probably.
He's good enough to play. Unlike Bloody hell,
So where
notes.
does he get in at? No, that's a sentimental shout rather than a realistic shout from you, and I think you'll probably concede that when you think about it. And there's a couple of other players that were at Middlesbrough when Chris Wilder was manager.
Yeah, about 6 players, didn't they, that he's managed?
Yeah. So there is some talk that could that be his next move if the Hull manager gets off to a poor start. And the only reason I mention it is, can you imagine that coming to Bramall Lane with 4 ex-Blades in the side and Wilder in the dugout? That is unbelievable, isn't it?
So who's the 2 from Borough?
I don't know. Riley McGree, I think. I don't even know if it's Riley McGree. That might be wrong.
I can't think of, off the top of my head, though, it shows you where Hull are. None of them would get into our team.
No.
I was just wondering if there were a right back that who might have.
Well, there's been talk of this, Dad, in terms of Derby have been really busy. This got mentioned the other night. Derby have signed 10 players.
Yeah.
Wrexham have signed all these players. Birmingham, you could argue a little bit different. I know we're going to come on to Birmingham in a minute, but Wrexham and Derby, people are saying, oh, they're so active. They're really going for it. None of the players that they are signing likely comfortably get into our side. No. I'm not saying there isn't the odd one or two that will. I don't mean to be disrespectful of these teams, and fair play to them for having a go and strengthening their side, but they are still not leveling up to a top end Championship team, which is what we're trying to maintain ourselves as, and obviously beyond.
Birmingham have got 2 or 3. I'm not so sure about Wrexham. Wrexham have got our old mate Lewis O'Brien, who I always like, but he's getting older now and he's slipping down. And hopefully,
but like you said today, he was Swansea's best player last season.
He was, yeah.
So you don't sniff at him. Having said that, does he get into our side? He's probably their best player, their marquee signing. I know they've got Josh Windass, but Lewis O'Brien was seen as a bit of a level up for them, and I agree. But does he get in front of Peck, Hamer, Arblaster?
I think you'd probably get. I think you might put him just in front of Peck.
Would you?
While Peck's still improving, yeah. Yeah, maybe I would, yeah. But I have some sympathy. I have some, obviously. I like O'Brien. But Birmingham do have some. Obviously, they've got Tommy Doyle now, haven't they? And they've got cash in from Brighton. And they've also got Stansfield, who's probably... Is he better than ours?
He'd give him a run for the money, wouldn't he? Definitely. Yeah, give him a run for the money. You were telling me a little bit earlier, and I thought it'd be nice to mention that about Jay Stansfield from Birmingham documentary.
Well, I also had... I said I ought to mention Birmingham today because Mr. Vancouver asked me about Birmingham last time I were on. And then Speaking
of Mr. Vancouver, by the way, Mr. Vancouver is back with a ridiculous super chat. Thank you, Mr. V. Good evening, Jimmy and Andy the Blade. What do you make of the... We'll come to that. We'll come to that, Mr. V.
Yeah, because Mr. V asked me about Birmingham last year, and then I went on to a rant about Wrexham.
About Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. So I apologised for that, Mr. V. I had, in my defence, I'd just come back from Galway on a very heavy four-day Guinness spree, and my head was.
You described that as one of the best jaunts you've ever had, didn't you?
Honestly, one of the best places I've ever been to. I mean, I've got to say the weather was great. Normally in Galway, it's peeing it down with rain, but it was red hot. And the pubs were just brilliant. Absolutely. We had a brilliant time.
And for context, you've been to a fair few places, haven't you?
I've been to a fair few. Oh, yeah. The things that I get pulled up about, I said, in Galway, I went in the best five of the best pubs that I've ever been in my life. And that's I have been in a lot of pubs. So
you have.
But so my head was, I said to Jim, are you sure? Can we leave it a couple of days? No, I've advertised you.
You've got to give the Ramblers what they want. You've got to give the Ramblers.
I apologise to Mr. V for going on about Wrexham when he asked me about Birmingham. So Birmingham, I think they're doing very good business. I have seen a couple of the new TV series with, Tom Brady's taking over, who don't come over that good. Tom Brady's, I'm a massive fan of Tom Brady. For those who don't know, he's American football superstar who's just retired.
You're a big NFL man, aren't you?
Yeah, with the New England Patriots, and I mean, I know Mr. V knows all about this, but he comes over not as a anyway. Don't come over great, but they're doing really well. They're putting money where their mouth is, and they're buying some good players. They obviously got Tommy Doyle, they've got Cashin, they're just getting on loan from Brighton, who I'd have liked us to have a look at. They've got the ex-Wednesday goalkeeper, Beadle, that they've brought in. And
I'm not stuck on him, but I know what you mean.
Which, it's a little story for anybody who hasn't seen the Birmingham episodes. Jay Stansfield, who is their marquee signing, their striker.
Paid something like 12 million quid, didn't they, for him in League One?
In League One, which were unbelievable, really. But it
smashed the transfer record, shattered it.
Unlike some players who you pay 10, 12 million for, he has actually scored quite a few goals.
Unbelievable.
But
that's in League One, by the way.
So Jay Stansfield played, and he's played well. I didn't realise at the time, it came to me later, that his dad was a fella called Adam Stansfield, who played for Exeter. He's the son of Adam Stansfield, and Adam Stansfield played for Exeter. He was their star striker for quite a number of years, but died. I think he got cancer and died quite young, about 28. And they were a big thing at Exeter. He's a local hero down there. And they've named a stand after him, and it's really nice. And obviously, Jay Stansfield goes back, and because his mum still goes to Exeter all the time to watch the games.
That's lovely.
But what was so nice is the actual spitting image of his dad, where he plays, where he runs, because they were both strikers. Yeah. They did like a little montage things where they showed Jay Stansfield running through to score a goal, and then they'd intermix it with his dad Adam running through to score a goal. And they scored the same type of goals, and they were flicking it over the keeper the same way and going around the keeper the same way, and it just looked so good. It was just such a nice tribute to his dad. So that's Adam Stansfield.
I would say we'd be the same, but I had a thimble of the talent that you had on the pitch, to be fair. I don't think there'd be quite the same movement in our montage as Dad. But
I just used to kick people, to be honest.
You didn't. That's not true at all. We'll stick with Mr. V, actually, because he says, "Good evening, Jimmy and Andy the Blade. What do you make of the business we've done so far with Bindon and Barry coming in? And who would you like to see at centre-back, right-back and right wing? I'm still working on the pack tickets, Andy. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles, up the Matilda Shakes. Like and subscribe."
Good on Mr. V.
I know, top man. So we talked about the centre-backs a little bit, Dad. What do you make to Bindon and Barry? And if any names jump out at you for right-back or right wing, I know you're on the spot there a little bit, but can you think of anybody you fancy?
I'll start off with the one I don't know about. Right back, I ain't a clue.
Okay. We'd have gone for a Jimmy Dunn, won't we, me and you?
Absolutely gone for it. Because there's no standouts that we can get for that position. No, none that I can think
Kessler
of.
Hayden, who Coventry got, who've been on loan at Preston, that was the one for me. But
yeah, there's one or two. So, I mean, whether this... what do they call him?
Woo. Woo.
No idea. I don't know what it is. Hopefully somebody in the scouting team does. But I've no idea. But we do need somebody at right back. I would hate for it to be Sariki, all the way through. Because for one thing, I don't think he's steady enough. And the other thing, I think he's a bit injury prone. So I'm not sure whether that's the case. As far as Tyler and Barry are concerned, we haven't seen an awful lot of them. What I have seen of them, they look really, really good. And I'm really pleased with them. I think both of them have the potential to make big differences. Tyler Durden looks a class act, still very young.
Tyler Durden?
Tyler.
What, in Fight Club?
Tyler what?
Tyler Bindon, do you mean?
That's what I said, Tyler Bindon.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Tyler Bindon. Wind it back, you'll see. Tyler Bindon. Tyler Bindon. Wait, we haven't come to some better ones yet. We haven't come to Tim Shawadi. You're getting on to today. I haven't a clue.
Jim, I can't say his name. You'll have to say his name for me because I can't say his name.
Tim, I still can't say it anyway.
Yeah, we'll get on to that.
Anyway, no, but Tyler
Bindon.
Why? Tyler and Louis Barry. I nearly said something.
Because your mother used to do it, and you used to take Mickey out of her, and that's where karma comes back to get you.
Did Dave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh no, you're not Dave. You're
nice. Yeah.
No, I think they've both got potential to be really big players for us this year, and I'm So I am quite pleased at them. It's early days. I'll be able to tell you more when next month's episode after we've seen them for 3 or 4 weeks playing.
Nice,
so
yeah.
we'll have a look at them then. But from what I've seen, little bits of them so far, I'm really pleased. The big thing I'm more concerned about, I would love us to make our statement signing, because we haven't had a state, even though those two are good, is to be our right-sided midfielder or right winger.
I know what you're going to say.
Really love to.
I know what you're going to say already.
You think I'm going to say Brooks, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do. I would love David Brooks.
Yeah. So yes. Okay, David Brooks. Yeah.
But I would also love Ben Doak.
Yeah, great player, Ben Doak.
I think both of those. To think if we had anyway, I'll go into that later. But we had Barry on one side and Ben Doak on the other, or David Brooks on the other, because not only have you got, if you're only playing one up front, you've got goals coming also from either side as well.
Yeah, you have.
I
think we'd be more likely to go for a David Brooks type player than a Ben Doak, because Ben Doak goes round the outside of the fullback. Yeah.
Ben Doak's a winger, and like Skyblade says, that's great if you've got
Kiefer Moore in the middle. Yeah, exactly.
But we haven't. So even though, Ben Doak would still fit in with us, because I know but the problem is he's been playing well with Liverpool, hasn't he?
Yeah, they want to have a look at him. Yeah, maybe keep him.
You know what's going to happen, don't you? They're going to do what Man City did with in Charity
Palmer.
Shield.
Cole Palmer, yeah.
When we were going to get him on loan.
And Nabby will end up going to Crystal Palace or something, won't he? And
so,
we'll never see him.
But I would like us to make if we're going to buy somebody decent or whatever, spend a bit of money doing something anyway, is get somebody for our right wing position. Okay. So that's what I would like to do.
Nice one. Lewis says, evening, gents. Great to have Andy the Blade back on. What are his thoughts on Ruben and how he will do as we approach the new season? P.S. It's a video, Dad, was the #1 highlight of the Oasis video. Up the Ramble, like and subscribe. Can we just, before you answer his question, how good was that Oasis gig, by the way?
It was incredible. I've always been a massive Oasis fan, but I've had bands that I've liked better than Oasis over the time.
Yeah.
But that was an absolute concert for the ages. It was like, it was just unbelievable from when we set off to when we came home in a right state. Except for you.
We've relaunched Behind the Ramble, as you know, Dad, and it's got 2 videos on it. One's me explaining what Behind the Ramble is. The other one is the Oasis gig, which we can't monetize, obviously, because there's copyright all over it, because I'm playing all the songs through it. But that has outstripped, we've got about 35,000 views on that. That's outstripped anything I've ever done on the Blades Ramble in the 2 years that we've been on. Next up on Behind the Ramble, bit of carpool karaoke with Matilda Shakes. How about that?
That would be brilliant.
How about that then?
Do you want me to come on already? Because I know all words to all songs.
Dad, I'll get you back just for crack, to be honest. That'd be so funny.
So you nearly caught me out at Oasis concert, didn't you? I nearly stumbled on a couple.
Nearly caught you out. Just because I didn't record it, don't mean I didn't catch you out. Anyway,
me and Bez are going out next week.
So yeah, a bit of Bez. If you're not already subscribed to Behind the Ramble, please do. There is some decent content coming up on there that I'm really looking forward to. Lewis says, what are your thoughts on Ruben Sayers and how he'll do as we approach the new season?
I'm quite excited, really. Obviously, I were a big Chris Wilder fan, as I know you were as well, Jim. Still love the man, really, but I wasn't blind to his faults as far as the team were going. I didn't like some of his buys. I didn't like his game management. I thought some of his team selections weren't right. And when you make a list like that, you think, what did he get right? But he was great at motivating the team, motivating the fans, getting everybody together, all Blades together. That was his strength because we're all one, we're all Blades, as we should be anyway. But that's it. Whereas, so I'm quite excited to see how a different man who talks very well. I'm excited to see. Obviously, we've seen him in the pre-season friendlies, pushing forward and scoring goals, and I've liked it. I've liked it really. So I'm quite open to seeing how he goes, and he will get my full support until he doesn't.
Correct, that's true. We're not rewriting anything there, by the way. I think Chris Wilder did the most important thing right, and he got points on the board when we needed them, and that was
absolutely.
And in addition to that, his other great strength, like you touched on, Dad, was bringing everybody together and keeping everybody on the same page with the club and sort of leading us all as one. And that was what we all loved, and I continue to love about Chris Wilder. I think he was the best manager I've ever seen in a Sheffield United dugout. But you can't be blind to the fact also, and these are things that we did point out during the season, some of the tactics at times were quite baffling. I think the squad was unbalanced. I don't really think we did have a plan all the time during games. And ultimately, we didn't play very well for a lot of the season. We got the results, but we didn't play. And ultimately, that's what's important. So if he were to counter this, he would say 92 points. So stick that up your pipe. But it's sometimes the greater sort of the wider vision of that is you don't have to play beautiful football all the time. You have to play winning football. I get that. But Ruben Sayers plays what he calls a vertical style, an attacking style of football that will see action at both ends. We don't know how good we're going to be. We don't know how we're going to compare to the other teams in the league. You'd hope we were top end. But I'm expecting to see better football on the pitch, at least under Sayers, because it wasn't great at times last season, we have to say.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
I totally agree with that, Jim. I'm expecting to see better football. I think we'd have done well with Wilder this year again.
Yeah, I do.
I think we'd have still sort of
He guarantees playoffs, doesn't he? He guarantees playoffs.
I would have said he guaranteed playoffs, yeah. Whereas with Sellers, you knew what you're going to get with Wilder. We would get playoffs, but probably not good enough again to go up. You
think?
I don't know, maybe. But with Sellers, we could either be really, really good, or we could be mid-table. I'm just not sure yet, really. So
we won't be mid-table.
So
we can't be mid-table, Dad.
No, I think the team at the moment. Is a top 6 team. Depends on who we bring in now for next.
Well, he said today, and I know you've only watched hot off the presser rather than the actual press conference, which you'll watch when you can. But he said today, he was asked by Adam Oxley, Radio Sheffield, is the team ready to battle it out at the top end of the Championship? And he said, and I agree with him, short term, yes. Long term, no. So what he's saying is we need more reinforcements. We can compete for now with the first team, but underneath that there isn't enough. And I think he's right.
I mean, but you know, as I said, with the players that we've got here, I think we're a top 6 team. I wouldn't say we're a top 2 team. I'd say we're a top 6 team. But it depends. If we then go out and sign David Brooks and Matty, what they call him from Norway.
Matty Zetterstrom. Unbelievable. Dave Morwood says
and Tim Shuadiwadi.
You're ridiculous. Evening, Jimmy, and the one and only Andy the Blade. I bet you're glad we didn't sign the striker from Spain. Well, you've heard tonight he wouldn't have minded it because he fits the criteria that we're after. It's not a case of he's the man I want above everybody else.
We've got an understanding, me and Ollie Mac now.
Yeah, of course you have. Craig says, hi Jimmy, hope you and the fellow Ramblers are well and looking forward to the game. I have 3 tickets spare for the John Street stand, not far from you, for the Bristol game. If a Rambler with a couple of kids and finds it too expensive, the tickets are free. Just let me know. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. What a fantastic gesture from Craig. Thank you, Craig. If anybody's watching and wants to get in touch, you can do that via myself if you want, because obviously Craig's not been able to leave any contact details. So if anybody's looking to go to the game with a couple of kids, free of charge, courtesy of Craig. Thank you, Craig. Then just get in touch with me and we'll try and get that sorted out.
By the way, if anybody's got any spare points for Middlesbrough game, I might take them up on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not fancy doing watch along? Oh, I think I'm doing it with Jord actually.
I've got my mates. I've got Middlesbrough mates.
Kamara.
No. I mean, I haven't asked him about it. No, them all went down to barbecue with.
Oh yes, yeah. Ray says, evening all. We're looking forward to Saturday. Just hope Tyrese Campbell doesn't wear coloured boots to put the mockers on it. Andy will be raging. Seriously though, 3-0 Blades win. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles. Like and subscribe. Dad, we're not big, me and you, really, on score predictions, particularly when it's blind at this stage of the season. Do you fancy us at weekend?
I do. Definitely fancy us. Fancy a 2-0.
2-0. Nice. Hi, boss, says Tim. Really looking forward to this. Thank you, Tim. One of our Platinum Ramblers. Hope you well. Another one, Daz Keeling says, looking forward to the new season now. Took me a while to get the enthusiasm levels back up, but it's the same every year for me. Can't wait for Bristol. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Josh says, Jimmy, who do you and your dad reckon will be the surprise package from the current squad? I think Sariki is in for an amazing season. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. I think the one that's already surprised me is Ryan O'Neill in terms of his direct impact on the team. Obviously, we haven't played any competitive football yet. I don't know how he's going to... how much he's going to be involved because Louis Barry's in front of him now. So, tricky to say at this stage. Dad, have you any names that jump out?
Yeah, Louis Barry.
Is he a surprise?
Well, have you seen him play?
Yeah, I have seen him play.
You haven't seen him play, hardly.
You mean at Championship level?
Yeah.
No, nobody has. So, yeah, if you're comparing it to that, then you could say Louis Barry and Tyler Binden, but...
no, I think Louis Barry could be a really good player for us this year.
Yeah, I agree. He'll be pivotal, won't he? You'd like to say somebody like Andre Brooks, wouldn't you? But I need to see more. I know.
Andre Brooks don't do it for me as of yet, and I'm still open to him, but he don't do it for me as yet.
This is a view from the mountain.
Oh, hello, view from the mountain.
Looking forward to Saturday. Hopefully see all the Ramblers pre-game. Sayers continues to impress me. Hope you well, Andy. Let's give him a hero's welcome at the lane on Saturday. Come on, you red and white wizards.
I don't need a hero's welcome.
It's up the Ramble.
I don't need a hero's welcome, Paul. It's all right, mate.
Oh, dear me. Oh, my word.
Is that what you meant?
Hi, Jimmy and Andy the Blade. What starting 11 would Andy the Blade go for with the game against Bristol City? Also, how do I become a Platinum Rambler, Jimmy? Up the Blades, up the Ramble, up Andy the Blade. Thank you, mate. All the links are in the description for the Platinum Ramblers chat. Yeah, if you want to support us that way, it'd be very much appreciated. It's not expected. The least you can do that is free is to like the video, which gets it seen in different places, and subscribe to the channel, which again is free. It just means we come up on your feed more regularly. And has that bought you enough time, Dad, to look at the squad?
I'm just thinking, yeah.
I know you so well.
To be honest, I'm not looking at squad. I'm looking at how to pronounce the names. I'm thinking, I'm going to leave some midfielders out and put Peck in, and so just go.
We're going to go Peck at right back, Peck on right wing. Go on then. What are we going with?
Right. So obviously we've got to go with what we've got, haven't we? This is not the hopeful team that we've got in a couple of weeks or whatever. So obviously it'll be Gerbich in goals. Yeah, you're not listening to me, are you?
No, I weren't listening. I've heard Gerbich there. Sorry, I was looking at the comments. I thought you could carry us for at least 10 seconds. Yeah. But there you go. You had to slip those jokes in. Gerbich in goal. Gerbich who's gone out on loan today. Do you think we've seen last of him at Sheffield United? Do you think we'll see him again ever, Dad, by the way?
No.
Right, okay.
No. Okay. No, obviously, Cooper in goals.
Yeah.
We've got Burrows at left back, which I'm very pleased with.
Yes, me too.
Well,
what do you think to what do you think to Sam McCallum, by the way?
I think he's all right where he is.
On the bench, you mean?
Yeah.
A reasonable backup at the level.
Reasonable backup. I don't mind having a good. We've spoken about this before. I don't want two 7 out of 10s competing for the same spot. I'd sooner have a 9 out of 10 and a 6 out of 10.
Yes, me too.
You know what I mean? A 9 out of 10 is a Harrison Burrows and a 6 out of 10 Sam McCallum.
Yes, absolutely right. That's what we should be doing. And do you feel like we've got 2 6s on the right at the minute then?
Well, we've got Sariki, I mean.
Sariki and Brooks.
No, Sariki's a 7. And sorry, I thought we were doing fullbacks. Fullbacks
you do what you need to do, Dad. Sorry, go on.
Right,
you do what.
So we've got Burrows at left back.
Yeah.
We've got Robinson at left centre back because that's what we are, and we've got Tyler at right centre back.
Tyler. Yes, we have got Tyler. Yes, we have.
And we've got Sariki at right back.
Yes. So that's the same. That back line picks itself.
We haven't got anything else.
We haven't got anything else now.
So then we've got a midfielder, two defensive midfielders. So we're staying with the same formation. So 2 defensive midfielders, and as it stands at the moment, because of injuries and everything else, we've got the Senegal lad.
Samari. The Senegal lad. Jibril Samari.
That's easy to get. Jibril Samari. Listen, by Christmas I'll have got him down to.
I know you will, and then January winter will come round and you'll be screwed again.
Jibril Samari and Peck, I would play as long as Jibril Samari is fit. That's how I would pick those.
Jibril Samari and Peck, you would play.
Yes, I would. Yeah.
Dad.
And then I would play the three. I would play Barry on the left. I would play Brooks on the right, and I would play Hamer behind Campbell up front. And I've made sure, Dave the Nose, there's only 11 players there.
But Dad,
you're trying to trip me up last time.
You really know.
Slight mistake and picking 12.
So you've dropped Callum O'Hare.
This is the quandary that I spoke about earlier. Callum O'Hare is one of my favourite players.
Clearly not.
He's one of my favourite players. I can't see for a balanced team how he fits in.
Well, Gus is going to play in the two.
But you would have him as me and Man Mountain. We realise these things. They're not called subs anymore.
You're pinching that, are you? You're pinching that, are you? You're pinching it from Man Mountain.
I've always known. The England Rugby Union started it, and what they did instead of bringing the subs on, we bring the finishers on. So the different players who finish the game off for him. So, and I would have him as obviously the main man on the bench who would come off and maybe change the game or do whatever he needs to do on the 60th minute or wherever it is. So it would be he's a very important part of my team is O'Hare. But for the balance,
that's not needed for 60 minutes.
What?
That's not needed for the first 60 minutes.
Well, I'm just saying for the balance in my team. Listen, you pick your team and I'll pick my team. Thank you very much.
Dad, we know that Gussie's going to play in the two.
Did you ask me what my team would be?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I did. So you've got full faith in Samari then, obviously.
Well, yeah. I'm hoping so. Yeah.
You couldn't say his name, and none of us have seen him play, but you've full faith in him to drop Callum O'Hare.
Yeah. I've seen him in training.
Yeah, wearing his shirt on picture.
That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting him to be the replacement for Sousa in that position. That's what I'm expecting him to be. So that's why I would play him there. And obviously, because you can't. I know what you're going to say. I mean, it's so easy to say we'll play Hamer there with Peck, aren't you? That's what you're going to say. Those two, and then you'd have Callum O'Hare playing behind Campbell. Yeah, that's the easy pick to do. But
why is it not the right pick to do? Just because it's easy. What if we overwhelm them with attacking football?
It could be. It could be. But I don't think Peck and Hamer is strong enough defensively in that defensive two.
Well, we're in a pickle then, aren't we?
Well, we are in a pickle. That's why we need some more men. That's why we need Tim Irabungo. For time being. We can't.
He might not. We don't know if he's coming now, do we?
Well, we don't.
Do you know what? I'm going to ask you this actually, and this is slightly off piste.
I want him. The thing is, I'm going to answer your question. I want Hamer in that number 10 spot behind.
I know you do, but that's the main pickup. Yeah, and we've said that. We said that all last season, me and you. And the problem with that is the problem with that is we've got Callum O'Hare. So
I know Callum O'Hare is a very, very important, and I would say if I was sellers, I would sit him down and say, look. You are one of the most important players in our team, and this is what we need you to do. We need you to come on and take control of this game for the last 30 minutes, last 35 minutes, wherever we need you. Hopefully, we'll be in the lead, so you can come on and score another 2 goals and make it 4-0 rather than 2-0. So,
okay,
but that's what I'm wanting. And also, depending on whether we're chasing the game or whether we're in the lead, we can if we're 2-0 up, we can take Hamer off and rest him and put Callum up there. But if not, if we're 1-0 down or we're drawing and we think we want to go for it, we'll keep Hamer on and take a defensive midfielder off or one of the wide men.
When Arblaster comes back, how does your team change?
Well, like you say, it all depends on how good this Samari is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But you would think if he's as good as we're hoping him to be, and the word on the street is supposed to be he's quite good, you would drop Peck for a while and let him build himself up. And
Peck becomes a finisher.
bit. Hey?
Peck becomes a finisher.
Peck becomes a finisher, yeah.
Okay.
And that's you need some finishers. You need some good finishers, don't you? I mean, we've got one or two, haven't we? We've got Oni, we've got Cannon.
Yeah, that's true. Not much else at the minute, but
no,
yeah, you're right.
Not much else.
Brilliant introduction for the man, Andy the Blade. Fantastic. Thank you, Ray. Mel says, I'm very excited about Femi. He's in the mould of Kyle Walker, and Kyle was the best debutant at right back since Len Badger. Ask your dad how good Len was.
Len was brilliant. Len was brilliant. He was really good. He was the full back when I first started watching him.
Let's have a look. There's a few little back and forths already in the chat, so we're just going to try and skip over them.
His partner, Len Badger, bless his soul, he's died now. But we were talking to his full-back partner the last time we went to that do at Sheffield Star Awards. You remember his name, Jim?
We were talking to him.
Yeah.
Ted Emsley.
Ted Emsley, correct.
Of course, I remember.
And he was a professional cricketer as well with Ted Emsley.
I remember you telling me. How impressive is that, by the way? Bloody dual sports.
Yeah.
Professional. Good evening, gents. Where have you been now, Andy? Looking well. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, up behind the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Where have you been, Dad?
I did have a couple of days away. I've just been to Scarborough for cricket. Watched Yorkshire on Tuesday. Nice. I had a good win, and it was really nice. And it was red hot as well. So, and I also went down to see. I know how Jim loves me name dropping, but regarding them Middlesbrough, what I was just talking about, me and a couple of mates went down to see Bill Athy, who was a mate of ours. Used to play for Yorkshire in England at cricket. He lives down south now near Ludlow, and we went to a big barbecue at his house and put us up.
Nice.
The four of us went in a camper van, and it were only for two. It was a nightmare. We hired a camper van. It was supposed to be for four, but it were never.
Definitely weren't.
I think it was for 2 adults and 2 3-year-olds.
Evening, Jim. Evening, Andy. Hope you're all well. Not going on Saturday. The wife booked another holiday. I can see a divorce coming imminently. This is Martin, your Benidorm mate, by the way.
Oh, is it? All right, Martin.
I think so. I believe so. Yeah, booked another holiday at the same time.
I'm off to Alicante. When's he going? I'm going off to Alicante on the 24th.
Yeah, I know.
Day after our game.
You have to see James, aren't you?
Yeah, day after our game. I'm going to go into our match first, and then on Saturday, and then we're going on Sunday morning.
Roy the Corinthos Blade says, we're only short of an L for the weekend. When we start the game, there'll be not much difference from the end of last season. I agree with that. I think we're okay for the one game. Obviously, we've got the cup game then against Birmingham on Wednesday, which we'll navigate our way around, probably see some younger kids spliced in. But hopefully come Swansea next weekend, we'll have another centre-half in and ready to go.
Jim?
Yes, Dad?
Can I ask you? I mean, I know this is a bugbear of mine, all these injuries. How can Davis and Shackleton be injured for the start of the season again?
Do you know? Obviously, I don't know the answer to that, and it's Tom Davis being the standout player. In fact, that might be an ideal.
I'm not bothered about Shackleton anymore, to be honest.
Well, you say that. You say that.
I know. I heard what you said on the thing about.
He is rumoured to be included as a first teamer in Sayers' plans because he thrived in Marcelo Bielsa's high intensity, high press team. So that is something for Blades to get their heads around because he's certainly not played a big part for us and not been available for the vast majority of time. And when he has played, hasn't been great. Let's be right. So
our Leeds fans, mates, I don't know whether yours have said the same, but at least when we signed him, said he's a good player, is Shackleton, but he's never fit. And that
that was the main overarching thing. So, but there's something flying around our chat at the moment about a site that tries to get as close as they can to player wages, and that I have been done by these before. So this is not an accurate Rambles reporting that this is what they're on, because this isn't the case. But there's a site called Capology which tries to track player wages and thank you to Riff, who was one of our Platinum Ramblers for raising this. But this is some of the money that we've got in for players. We're talking about you mentioned. I know. You mentioned Tom Davis before. He's up there on 30 grand a week. Ryan Brewster on 35. If these figures are accurate, and I'm not saying they are.
Who authorises these wages?
These will be close to what we are dealing with. Gus is on 30 grand a week. That sounds about right. Vinny will have been on the same. Anel being on around the same sounds about right to me. We know that Rian were on a ridiculous wage. Tom Davis, we know he's on big money. Ivo Gerbic, who's gone out today, I don't think they'll be covering all his wage, but getting some of that off. Kiefer Moore, a great one to get off the wage bill at that sort of money. I thought it was close to 30, but you know, I may be wrong with that. Jack Robinson coming in at 25 as well. So we've brought in what there? 35, 60, 120 grand, is it? That?
Hamer, Sousa and Anel, I have no problem with paying that. You pay for quality, and that's about, I would say that's about going wages for those. For
a top-end championship player.
Yeah. But Rian Brewster, I mean, I knew he were on that sort of amount. Absolutely ridiculous. Been stealing money for us for 4 years, and now gone to Derby. I'm not having him. Bloody cheerleader. I'm not having him. Bloody hell, we could have got bloody Dallas cheerleaders for 4 years.
So we've saved that sort of money. It's got to be reinvested on it. It's got to be reinvested. I know we're getting loan players in, and Louis Barry and Tyler Binden might be on decent wages as Premier League players, but we've got to make some permanent moves in this window, haven't we? We have to do.
Not only that, I would just... I think, is it Transfer Market that you'll go on? They've said something like, you've got to take all this with a pinch of salt, but basically we've got 22 million in and spent 2 million so far. This euros.
But there is a deficit in there when we lose parachute payments as well. So we have to offset that as well. Kev says, and we'll have to be quick with this one because there's a lot of comments to get through. Thank you for your comment though, Kev. Hi, father and son. Ask your dad which 3 players from the past would you pick to play in this squad? I'll start with Paul Stancliffe, who we saw the other day. Tony Curry, who's you'll name drop every time you can. And Keith Edwards. Who would you put in this side, Dad? Any blasts from the past?
Yeah. Tony Curry, obviously, is the main one that you'd put in. Morgan Gibbs-White, I would put in.
You loved him, didn't you?
I love Morgan. And Illiman as well. But I mean, to be honest, I suppose you've got to...
Can you imagine them 3? Forget defence. We're not bothered. Stick them 3 inside and we promote.
I've got loads of favourites. Well, we need Stuart McCall just as defensive work.
Somebody asked who best modern, in chat of the day, who's best modern day defender? Like going back to Chris Morgan, Phil Jagielka, Jack O'Connell. From that sort, yeah, for United.
It's got to be Jags, I think.
I said Jags. But it's not an easy one to answer because Jack O'Connell were brilliant. And Morgs brought something completely different as well in terms of leadership as well. So good questions to have. Let's have a look.
Curry was the best player that we've had.
Well, he's been voted best ever player. And obviously, it was well before my time. But you've always said that. You've always said he was the your favourite player, wasn't he?
To be honest, Tony Curry's always said that as well.
Bryce says, like, share, subscribe to the best free Blades content on the net. Come on, family. The family awaits you. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Cara says, Chris Mepham.
Chris Mepham definitely would have him. By the way, we were forgetting about Harry Maguire who played. Harry Maguire must be in a shout with centre halves.
Yeah. Obviously, he's probably had the best career, hasn't he?
Yeah. And Kyle Walker. Well, Kyle Walker.
Kyle Walker, but for us, we're never the player he became.
He went too early.
Yeah.
Before he really kicked on, didn't he?
We've told you our Kyle Walker story a few times, haven't we? So we'll save that for another stream. But yeah, Chris Mepham would slot in ideal.
Chris Mepham, I would have a drop of that. He would fit straight in now as well.
Blaster is our true captain, says Bright. Now, this has been a bit of the talk of the town, and I sort of talked to it. I think I discussed it today on Hot Off the Presser. It might have been last night. Jack Robinson has retained the armband, and a lot of people are sort of, we can't have this. He's not a good enough player. All the sort of rhetoric you'd expect from those that don't really rate him. I maintain, and this is just my opinion, but I want yours as well, Dad, please. He is a placeholder. He's a placeholder, and he's captain in name only at the moment because it causes you more hassle to take the armband off him at this stage while he's still going to be actively involved in the first team, or even still at the club, than to leave it on him for these first couple of games where he might have to play and lead the team, and then you replace him with a better, upgraded centre half and probably move the armband somewhere else within the team. So I think that's the reason he's retained the armband. I think come the 1st of September, he's out of the team and with a new on-the-field captain, and he's in last year of his deal. So that's what I think is happening here. I don't know what your thoughts are on it.
So what's the question again?
So people are saying about Jack Robinson being captain. Do you think it's along similar lines, or do you think that Ruben really rates him as a player and believes he's our captain?
I don't know what Ruben thinks about him, but it shows that he was looking to bring in, even before Anel went, he was looking to bring in another centre half, and it wouldn't have been for Anel, would it?
No.
So I think he probably realises his limitations as a player. I don't think he's changed the captainship because there's no outstanding player to give the armband to.
That's right. So, there's no definite leader in this squad that you say he's the next Chris Morgan, he's the next Billy Sharp.
Absolutely. So if there had been, if there'd have been a Stuart McCall who were playing in our midfield, who'll come to play, he'd say, he's give it to him. But he's not. We haven't got him. This is the problem. We've been saying this now for the last couple of years since John Egan left, and John Egan weren't one. He were great. And
he weren't a natural captain, though, was he?
He wasn't a come on, or
no, he weren't.
But I think he was a bit of an organizer. And
I agree.
Figurehead. So I like John Egan, but we haven't had anybody who was the proper captain, who could be a proper captain for us since he left. So there's no way that Jackie Longthrow's a great captain. So
just got Bryce says, I hope Matty signs. Matty's this season's Jez. Lee says, Lee Edridge, shout out to Lee, our pal. Just checked, Andy, and Nils is Swedish for Matthew. So as usual, you're not wrong.
You know what I said to Lee? Chapeau.
Mon chapeau. I'm going to get a T-shirt out with that, by the way. Nick Cook says, I'll tell you what, I'm liking Ukaki. I think there's a quality player in there.
Well, we haven't mentioned any of those boys, have we? And they've all showed little bits and bats, haven't they, in friendlies? So there might be a little jewel somewhere amongst them, somewhere.
I'm just skipping through all the Matty comments. Just a sec. Scott saying Sanderberger, huge lad, poor in the air. That shows where we are in terms of conversation in comments.
Yeah. Well, there's a few of that. I mean, everybody goes on about Peter Crouch and stuff. He was loads better on ground than he was in air. Yeah. We had a lad at Bradford City called Ian Ormondroyd, who's a great lad and he's a good mate of mine. And he wasn't that good in air. He was 6'7", and he wasn't that good in air.
I can't obviously read all the comments, and we're well behind because I wanted to let my dad talk, and I get it from somewhere. But Kane says, I wanted to read this one. Really good point, Jimmy. I don't know what the rest of it says. I just saw this bit. Our squad is already.
You would do if it says really good point, Jimmy. Yeah, we'll have to read this.
Nice one, Kane. Welcome back, Kane.
If anybody wants to put something that's read out, just start off with really good point, Jimmy, and he'll read it.
I agree with Jimmy.
Your dad knows nothing. That's another one that he'll read out.
Yeah. What is Andy the Blade talking about? Our squad is already streets ahead of many other teams before we brought in extra bodies in. Great foundation to work with this season for Sayers. I think we do forget that, yes, we've lost Anel, yes, we've lost Vinny, two big players for us, but the best players are still here in Gus and Cooper. That is a real foundation for us to build on. It's Ryan Giles that's at Hull. Thank you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I knew there were one of them boys.
Thank you. Billy says, would love us to be in for Kone at 3 million. Even if we loan him out for the season, back to League One, given the striker options we've got, looks a real player.
Totally agree. Totally agree. At 3 million, 3 or 4 million, you cannot.
Do you know what you could do?
Any chance of buying Kone at that sort of price?
Do you know what you could do? The deal that suits everybody is loan him back to Wickham.
Absolutely would. Well, why ain't somebody at our club doing something like that? That's what I want to know. It's so easy to sort. All you got to do is pick up a phone and talk about it. They might say no chance, but I mean they might be doing that, but I don't know.
Lee says Derby and Wrexham are active out of necessity. They didn't have enough to survive in the champ, and they need numbers of higher quality players than they had. Would only have Ozo for our squad of all of them.
Yeah. Derby and Wrexham, I can't see being much higher than mid-table, but Birmingham will be.
Yeah, I agree. I think Birmingham might trouble playoffs, to be honest.
Yeah.
Johnny says, Anelli's a blow a few days before the season, but along with Vinny, were expected departures. Trust the process, trust the manager. Hasn't done anything yet to suggest he's not up to the task so far. Well said, mate. Blackadder says, hi, Jimmy, Andy the Blade. Do you think now Coloured Boots has gone to Hull, there are any other free agent strikers that we could take a chance on like we did with Tyrese Campbell up the Blades, up the Ramble? I'm not sure. Certainly domestically, there doesn't appear to be much about at the moment that's going to be cheap. Like you, I know we keep circling back to the same sort of players, but just as a prime example, you would have had Danny Ings, wouldn't you, in the squad? Yeah, but he's not going to come in as a third, is he?
No, he's not. No, he's definitely not. No, there's no point. There's no point.
McBurney fit that mould because he would have, had Hull not been in for him, I'm confident he would have become our third striker. He fits the mould because, like all the points you said, and we don't mean to make the same points, but we need somebody who's not going to be better than the first two, which is a sweet spot that's difficult to find because you want them to be good and an asset to you. But
what about
pensive? Go on.
What about DKD
at Barnsley?
At Barnsley,
you're going to be paid well, according to my mate Cal Fowler. Oh, by the way, thank you for mentioning him. We have got our show debuting on Monday.
Well, that's great, and I like Callum. I like him. Callum Fowler, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you like him that much, you don't know his name, but yes, it's Cal Fowler.
I can't remember your name half the time, Jim. So that don't really mean.
So that is Yorkshire's finest. This is going to be a Football Evan style phone in, where we're going to get fans in from fans across the region and sort of take their comments on the previous weekend's games.
But you were going to just about to say my mate Callum Fowler says DKD is worth 25 million.
No, 5 million quid he reckons.
Yeah, I know. Well, of course he's going to say that. We said Anel were worth 20 million, 17 million. There were no chances of getting.
I said this to him. He wanted a grand on with me because he's a high roller and I'm clearly not. But he wanted a grand on that he goes for more than 3 million quid. No, I'm not going to do that, Callum.
I think we could get him for 3 million.
Well,
but
will you pay me fee if it don't?
But anyway, I'm just asking about him because they say he's a quality. I've seen him 2 or 3 times. He looked at quality.
He's decent, but again, he's a little bit older. I think he's 27, 28. If you're playing 3 million quid, you go get Richard Gurney, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like him from what I've seen, which is very limited, to be honest. But I think 3 million quid for Kone is the deal for the striker.
It is. But there's not. I mean, if you got choice of the Barnsley lad or Kone's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
I would have Kone, like you say. I'd have Kone and loan him back to, because that Wickham might snap your hand off for that.
Yeah, it might put you in front of everybody else, might it?
Yeah.
Don't know where the rest of the comments have gone on here, but it's okay. Exeter retired Adam Stansfield's number, says Riff, after his death, and then gave Jay the number during his loan. Now they have unretired the number because the new signing, Jaden Wareham, demanded it. It.
Well, yeah, that's a bit off, isn't
it? Can you, the posthumous retirement that you've done of the number 9? Yeah. I'm not coming if you don't give it me. Wow. Yeah, so for some reason it's not coming up on there. Let me just check it's not towards the top end. No, it's not. So let's see if we can get them from over here, but it won't now be overlaid, which is fine. What are people saying?
What are you on about?
Comments that I get from Stream Builder are not pulling through, which is fine. Cooler King says ATB is right about finishers. That's basically how the Lionesses won the Euros, bringing Chloe Kelly and Michelle Adjemang off the bench. Football hasn't been a first 11 game for a long time.
Who's saying that, Jim?
Cooler King says
chapeau.
That. Mon chapeau. Daniel Loeb says, afternoon, Jim. Beautiful day here in Canada. Hope all is well across the pond. Been getting really excited for the season, and I've got a cheeky 3-0 prediction for Bristol. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Love from Canada. Thank you, pal. Thank you very much. I agree with Andy. The Blades says up the Blades. I'd put Samari in and keep Siddy in for balance. Too light on the counter-attack. Also, Hamer is a walking yellow card. So does that mean you would? Surely not up the Blades. Surely you're not Arch Footy fanatic. You're not benching Hamer.
No one can bench Hamer.
No one benches Hamer.
No one puts Hamer in the corner.
No one puts Gussie in the corner. You can't do that. You can't. We're calling foul on that, I'm afraid. Can't do that. So, yeah, these have gone on there for some reason. Think Hamer will be more disciplined under Sayers, says Bry. Possibly. What do we think, Dad?
I've no idea.
No. Somebody was saying the other day, now that he's not playing out further forward, he may be more disciplined. I think he's more susceptible to a yellow card when he's playing through middle. He must be.
No, not if he's got no responsibilities for tracking back or keeping with his man or not letting his man go past him or whatever.
True.
Because that's what I would say with Eamer. So just look forward. Look for your playing your number 10. Look forward. Look for either Cannon or Campbell up front, or give it out wide to Louis Barry or Burrows.
It's the Adelta app thing, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
it's the give it to him and see what he can do with it.
See what he can do. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Stuart Heaven.
Is that Alicante?
It's Alicante. I'll ring you back in about half an hour, Stu.
Unbelievable.
I'll ring you back in. I'm on live with our Jim on his YouTube channel.
Hey up, Stu.
All right, see you in a minute, mate.
Footy Fanatic says, Dave Morwood says, get Kone, loan out One.
Yeah, that's a
Really?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, then that doesn't give Kone the playing time that he probably, I'm not going to say demand.
No, but I think he's earned it. He's earned the right to stay with the first team. And we've no other left-sider then, have we? Challenging Barry.
Kone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It won't work as well because Kone is going to want to play, isn't he? He's playing. One is still learning the game, so he'll be quite happy probably to, get some games when he can. Whereas Kone will want to play every week because he has been playing and scoring for Wickham. So he will then. So it's him who needs to play more, and obviously Wickham would want him, wouldn't they?
Mogga says Kone could end up first choice if the other two don't do it. Campbell could get injured, and Cannon may not do it at all based on last season. I don't disagree with that, but
I don't disagree.
But I don't think we'll bring him in to have the chance to get rid of our £10 million man.
It's a shame, really, but
it's the corner we've backed ourselves into, isn't it? Really, by spending £10 million.
Yeah,
if Cannon had come in as a free or a £1 million signing, then you go out and you get Richard Kone this window.
Well, you know my thoughts on Cannon. I'm not going to go down because we all want him to do well. When we were watching the pre-season friendlies, I was desperate for him to score and do well, and he did okay, and hopefully he might have a good season. But I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen it before we bought him, and I haven't seen it since we bought him.
I know you're.
So I don't know where he gets this reputation from as a 10 million man. Well, I do know because that's what he is. That's what we paid for him.
Well, he was scoring goals in Championship, but
it wasn't though.
It was. You can't say it doesn't count just because he got 4 goals in one game.
Right. Jim, if you played for Real Madrid and you were useless, but you took penalties and you finished up taking 19 penalties and you got 19 goals that season, but he hasn't scored 10
penalties.
This is a hypothetical question.
No, it's not. It's an over-exaggerated question.
Jimmy the Blade, is there 8 players scored 19 goals? You say, yeah, but he's never had a shot on target except for penalties.
It's a ridiculous.
I know it's a bit ridiculous, but what I'm saying is anybody can have a great goal scoring record if they play for a team who takes a lot of penalties and you take all the penalties.
He didn't. Yeah, but he didn't. He scored more than just penalties, didn't he?
He scored 10 goals, and I think 6 of them were penalties, weren't they?
No, about 3 of them, I think. 3 of them penalties and 4 were in one game. And that's why you were saying, right, well, you can take the 4 off in one game because that doesn't count. Take the penalties away.
Penalties in that game. Some of them were penalties in that game.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to do.
I know, yeah. I know. I'm gonna get a message later.
I think, Jim, is I think you're half right, and I think I'm half right. I think I'm exaggerating on behalf of my argument,
and I'm pulling it back too much.
And you're pulling it back and exaggerating on part of yours. So I think we're both a little bit wrong.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's going on with comments. I can still see everybody's comments, but rather than us go on for much longer than an hour and 20 minutes like we've done, I'm going to call it, I think. Okay. Dave Marple's with laughing emoji says, brilliant is your dad. Dearie me. Charger says, to be fair, Cannon did get the most goal contributions out of the whole squad in pre-season.
Yeah, listen, I'm not against Cannon. I want Cannon to do well. And I can half see him taking over as our number 1 striker from Campbell. maybe sometime this season. I don't know.
How can you sit on the fence like that by saying, you know what I think about Cannon? We shouldn't have paid what we paid for him. All this sort of thing, but I want him to do well, and I think he could become our first choice striker.
Because he has got the attributes to do it. Because he's young, he's quick, he can shoot, and as you say, he's a prolific goal scorer of penalties. And listen, and I'm just not sure. I'm just saying I could see it. I won't be tremendously surprised if he didn't take over as our number one striker sometime. I could see it happening. Campbell get injured, Cannon come in, has a really good run, and gets his number one, and then he'll keep the shirt. So
do you think we need a third striker then?
I do think we need a third.
Do you think that should be on the shopping list? You don't think One could do a pseudo job there, if you like?
Right. I do think we need one, but I think it's behind centre back, right back, and right wing.
I agree with you. Okay.
So if we don't get one, that's the least one I'll be worried about.
So there's a comment from Simon says, I agree, we ended the blade about Cannon. We need someone to share and compete with Campbell. Looking forward to a new era for them blades, pal. Up the blades, up the ramble. Riff says, I would just say to Andy the Blade that I think under Sayers, Cannon is making some really good runs, been good running the channels and dropping his shoulder to fool the defenders. Dan Loeb says, I agree, Jim, but Cannon is only 22. People forget how rare it is for strikers to be prolific at a young age. I think he needs time, and I think he'll be a right player for us. And then Bri finishes us off tonight. Johnny the Clown says, is Cannon's middle name Matty? I'm not sure. We'll check on that, Johnny. Bri says, like, share, and subscribe to the best Free Blades content on the net. Come on, the family awaits you. Thank you, Bri. Dad, anything else you want to finish on before we leave everybody? You won't see them all for a month? Well, you'll see most of them in Triple Point at weekend. But
no. I'm looking forward to Saturday. Looking forward to seeing everybody again. I'm looking forward to the season, and hopefully it will be a good season. And I'm quite excited about it, really. I just hope we can get a couple more players in, a right winger especially, and a centre half. Those are the right winger, centre half, and as long as Sariki stays fit, we can probably be all right for another few weeks. But
yeah, I agree. It's exciting though, isn't it? The season is back, and the championship season actually kicks off tomorrow, and we are over on Ramble FC doing a watch along of Birmingham versus Ipswich. If you want to join me over there, please feel free to do so. I am watching the opening game of the championship season.
Interesting game. That
really interesting game, because Birmingham are obviously a bit of an unknown quantity with all the signings. Ipswich coming down. How does that affect their mentality? They've lost a couple of big hitters, but still have a really strong squad for the level. I think it's going to be a really interesting game in terms of how they set up. So looking forward to that one. We've also then got Southampton v Wrexham. Myself and Jord Motson on Ramble FC.
Yeah, another good game.
Saturday lunchtime before we set off to Bramall Lane. At Bramall Lane, by the way, we will be in Triple Point and Selena, as we always are pre-match. But we will also be getting to the fan zone to watch our boys Matilda Shakes, won't we, Dad?
Yeah. The amount of pubs that you're going in, Jim, we'll be setting off about 2:30 in the morning.
Well, we can't, can we? Because I've got a Wrexham v Southampton watch along to do, so it'll be a quick half everywhere we go. And then... Who's driving, by the way?
You.
Oh, chuff.
You've never driven for about the last 6 months.
For the last, what, 6 weeks?
6 months.
Yeah, you're joking. Right, I thought it might be me. So, yeah, we'll be back with 90 After 90 on the channel after that. But, yeah, thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. These are my favourite ones to do, as it's obvious. My dad will be back with us because he's contractually obliged to be back every month.
What's that contract? I have no chuffing contract.
Thanks for joining us, Dad. I really appreciate it, as always.
It's been great, Jim. I really loved it. Anyway, thank you to all the Blades.
Come on, you red and white wizards.
Up the Blades.